5 News at 10.
I just came around that corner and hit the brakes, and I was actually sliding.
Extremely slippery. There's a sheet of ice on the bottom of this stuff, so it's bad.
Digging out from a big winter storm, more than a foot of snow fell in some parts. It's a very busy news night. We're monitoring school closings. We've got delays on the bottom of the screen.
We're also watching out for icy conditions as the temperatures take a nosedive. Any snow left on roads and sidewalks is expected to freeze by morning.
And of course, we're following big news on the political front. A ruling from a federal appeals court goes against the Trump administration's travel order.
And a big local sports story. Charles Oakley sits down with our Duke Castiglione to give his side of the story about what happened before he was arrested at the Knicks game last night.
All right, we'll get to those in just a moment. Let's talk weather, Nick. Crazy day.
Oh, boy, lots of snow, that's for sure. And as you mentioned, the big story now is going to be the deep freeze overnight and everything icing over. So be very careful outside. Look at the snow totals, though. 15.5 inches. The jackpot there at Bohemia. We saw a lot of the heavier amounts east of the city. Hicksville at 14 inches, 13.5 coming in from both Fresh Meadows, Queens, and Highland Mills up in Orange County. Dobbs Ferry about 13 inches. New City 9.5. Hey, Central Park here about 9.5 as well. Highland Lakes, New Jersey, they got the jackpot there at 11. Englewood at 9.5. 9. Butler Elizabeth to Blairstown. West Orange 8.2. Franklin Park at 7. Connecticut, well, not too shabby at Meriden. 15 inches there. New Canaan about 13. Same at Danbury. 11.5 Fairfield. Close to 11 at Bethel and Norwalk, and about 10 as you got to Monroe. And I just saw a statement released from the National Weather Service. We had wind gusts over parts of Long Island that were reaching 45 to 60 miles per hour at the height of the storm, just causing, much blowing and drifting of the snow and very reduced visibilities, which is why they had that blizzard warning up in effect for a lot of the day. All right, there's the good sign. Fox 5 Sky Guardian, all quiet. The storm has pulled away, but look at the temperatures now. 20 in Midtown, 16 Poughkeepsie, 10 Sullivan County, 19 or so as you move from the Jersey Shore onto Long Island. So we're seeing temperatures in the teens tonight, single digits north and west, and with a northwest wind, 10, 20 plus miles per hour still sustained, and gusts that are still out there, gusting to about 30. We're going to be talking about wind chill values that'll be a little punishing, feeling like single digits right now, even like 2 below 0 when you get up there to Monticello, 3 at Poughkeepsie, 2 at Islip, and 4 down at Belmar. All right, the storm's behind me, rapidly now taking off. So improvement comes in overnight with a clearing sky. In fact, we'll say just mainly clear weather coming in tonight into tomorrow. We'll start to see some clouds appear later on in the day. There's a little disturbance, though, coming by tomorrow night, and that is a little swath of some light snow. It's not out of the question. We get a coating, maybe up to about an inch of snow late tomorrow night, more so into the early part of Saturday morning, and then that goes away, and we'll start to see actually warmer temperatures come in for our forecast for Saturday. So that'll be some good news there. But it's cold tonight. Again, clearings moving in. 16 in the city. I think it does get down to 7 in some of those colder suburbs. Tomorrow, despite some sunshine, we don't get much above the 28 to 30 degree mark in the afternoon. Dari and Steve?
Thank you, Nick. Well, Long Island got hit with the brunt of the storm.
All right, Nassau and Suffolk counties were under a blizzard warning for much of the day. Jessica Formosa live in Lindenhurst tonight with a new warning about black ice. Jessica.
Dari and Steve, it was a rough day today, especially for residents of Suffolk County. They got a lot of snow here, and as you know, a state of emergency was declared. Tonight, residents are digging out. It is a mess out here. Roads are a little bit better, but again, now the concern is the morning commute, that black ice that has many worried, and especially those who have to drive on those secondary roads because some of them have not yet been plowed. Tonight, plows are hard at work making sure the roads are clean and treated. These plows plowing down Route 110 and every road in between.
We have 120 pieces of equipment. We have both town equipment as well as outside vendors or contractors who have been helping us all day.
With temperatures dropping overnight, black ice is a huge concern. Rich Schaefer, the Babylon town supervisor, says his crews are ready.
We're continuing the plow operation where we're getting scraping the roads, sometimes with payloaders, sometimes with large trucks, and in some of the really small streets we're using smaller pickup trucks. And then we're doing a salt operation so that we're putting salt down, and then the plows will come back through the neighborhoods in order to get up whatever's been melted.
Over in Farmingdale, the snow was giving drivers a headache. Not all secondary roads have been treated yet. These two men stuck right off Route 110.
I was just going over there, to get gas. I make a right turn and got stuck right at the entrance of this street.
How upset are you right now? It's so cold and you're just stuck here.
Yeah, right, and nobody is here to help me now.
Meanwhile, residents digging out, getting ready for their morning commute. James has been out here for hours. He says he wasn't expecting this much snow.
Rough, man. It's not easy. It's never easy to dig yourself out of snow. I've just got off work a little while ago, and I just went straight at it, and here I am, still halfway done,
When you got home, how high was the snow?
I don't know, it accumulated to maybe almost 1.5 feet over the car.
How much snow was on top of your car?
Oh, it was completely buried. I could only see maybe a little bit of the top part of the car, but the rest of it was completely buried. When the plows keep coming by, they keep burying you, and it's really heavy too, because it's so wet and there's so much of it, so.
Now, the town supervisor says that crews will be out here until 11 o'clock. Then they'll take a break. They'll be back at it a few hours later. He said since there's no school, the cleanup effort tomorrow will be smoother. Again, be careful with that black ice. Temperatures have dropped and they will continue to drop overnight. And the danger is that black ice. As you can see behind me, Sunrise Highway, it is clear and drivers are driving pretty fast, I have to say. It's not as slow as it was earlier today. But again, just be cautious. We are live today in Babylon. I'm Jessica Formoso, Fox 5 News. I send it back to both of you in the studio.
Things will change in the morning. Thank you, Jessica. Well, the Long Island Railroad is still experiencing delays of up to 30 minutes system-wide because of the snowy conditions. No word if this will continue through the morning commute. Today's storm also forced the cancellation of 20 evening trains, but officials say that there was no need to shut down the whole system.
And Metro North experienced delays on 3 main lines throughout the day, and tonight officials warn there could be more delays and cancellations, but they expect a normal morning commute.
Live look now at Newark Liberty Airport, where the snow created massive headaches for travelers at all 3 major airports in our area. There are currently more than 2,000 cancellations at Newark, Kennedy, and LaGuardia airports at this hour, along with hundreds of delays. Travelers are encouraged to check with their carriers before heading out. 2,000.
Yeah, it's a lot. All right, Mayor de Blasio promised New Yorkers, especially those in the outer boroughs, that every street in the city would get plowed today.
And so far, it looks like the mayor has made good on that promise, thanks to millions of dollars worth of new equipment. Jennifer Lammers has been checking out the roads. She's in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn right now with the update. Hey, Jen.
Hi, Steve and Dari. So this is 85th Street in Bay Ridge. It's always streets like this where you get the most complaints, right? The road is too narrow, the snow is too high, nobody can get out. Well, it looks like after the nightmare that happened with last year's blizzard, the city might have learned its lesson this time around and made those secondary streets a top priority. The dig-out begins on Staten Island, Brooklyn, and the rest of the outer boroughs, a night reminiscent of blizzards past.
Last year, it was actually impassable. I couldn't get anywhere.
And who can forget last year's record storm that dumped a whopping 2 feet of snow across the tri-state and left residents on the narrowest of streets feeling like the city had forgotten them, with nightmare story after story of plows getting stuck and not returning for hours. As Mayor de Blasio said during a news conference today, it was a teachable moment.
It got so bad that the big equipment couldn't get through effectively. Everything got bogged down, and that was one of the things that convinced us that we needed this smaller equipment.
This time around, thanks to a $21 million investment, the city deployed equipment much earlier than last year's storm and doubled its fleet of haulsters, small trucks designed for small streets that carry 2 tons of salt.
At this point in time, we have a piece of equipment in every single neighborhood.
The question tonight, did that $21 million investment pay off?
I believe so. It's a pretty positive response, that's all.
You're happy with the way the city handled things?
Yes, I think so.
They actually cleared it up pretty well. Yeah. My car was completely buried last year, and now it's pretty good. They prepared a lot this year because it was less snow, but they prepared.
Look here at 85th Street in Bay Ridge. This storm was fast moving and it dumped a lot of snow on the ground in a very short period of time for sure. By midday, though, it was reported that about 90% of those streets had been hit by those plows. So most people out here that I talked to seem to agree the city had a much better handle on things this time around. Steve and Dari, back to you.
Good to hear. All right, thanks, Jen. Just a horrible situation on the Upper East Side earlier today after a doorman dies while shoveling snow. It happened outside a building on East 93rd Street. Police say 59-year-old Miguel Gonzalez was clearing snow off the steps when he slipped and fell down the stairs, crashing through a plate glass window. He suffered cuts to his neck and face and died a short while later. The union representing Gonzalez released a statement saying it will support his wife and children during this difficult time.
It's unimaginable. Well, a driver stuck in the snow got a helping hand during the storm, and it turns out it was from Governor Cuomo. The governor spotted the stranded driver on the Sprain Parkway in Westchester. He was checking out road conditions at the time. Pictures posted on the governor's office Twitter page show him getting his hands dirty right there, acting like a regular folk, hooking up the tow cable to free the car and the driver.
It was very well documented.
You see, he knows what he's doing there.
Good for him.
Earlier today, a federal appeals court issued its ruling on the Trump administration travel ban.
All right, the judges ruled against reinstating it, and President Trump is not happy at all. Dan Bowen's in the newsroom with reaction and where we go from here. Dan.
Stephen, Dari, this was a unanimous ruling. The 3 judges, 2 Democratic appointees and 1 Republican, refusing to reinstate President Trump's travel order. Within minutes of this decision, President Trump sending out an angry tweet, all caps, saying, quote, "See you in court. The security of our nation is at stake." The Trump administration's urgent request to reinstate the travel ban rejected. A federal appeals court in San Francisco unanimously ruling the immigration order will remain on hold while its constitutionality is challenged. President Trump calling the decision political.
We have a situation where the security of our country is at stake. And it's a very, very serious situation. So we look forward, as I just said, to seeing them in court.
The 3-judge panel declining to overturn a lower court's order suspending the executive action, dismissing Justice Department lawyers' arguments a president's authority on immigration could not be reviewed. Quote, "There is no precedent to support this claimed unreviewability, which runs contrary to the fundamental structure of our democracy." The order barring refugees and travelers from 7 predominantly Muslim nations from entering the United States, leading to nationwide protests and the cancellation of at least 60,000 visas. President Trump insisting it's needed to protect the country from terrorism.
Right now, we are at risk because of what happened.
Last week, a federal judge in Seattle issued a temporary restraining order after the states of Washington and Minnesota filed a suit claiming the ban harmed residents. Lawyers also said the order unfairly discriminated against Muslims. The appeals court finding there are significant constitutional questions about religious discrimination. Quote, "The states offered evidence of numerous statements by the president about his intent to implement a Muslim ban, as well as evidence they claim suggests the executive order was intended to be that ban."
We just saw it just like you did.
Via the news, et cetera, the media.
But it's a decision that will win, in my opinion, very easily.
And are you in?
And by the way, we won that decision in Boston.
And the president citing a judge in Boston who sided with the administration in one of the other 4 cases pending connected to the immigration order. So what happens next? The administration could appeal this decision to the Supreme Court, but the court is still 1 short justice and deadlocked 4-4 between conservatives and liberals. It needs at least 5 votes in order to overturn a lower court's order. Dari and Steve, back to you.
Dan, thank you. Opponents of the president's immigration policies are using a case of undocumented mother of 2 in Arizona as a rallying cry. Guadalupe Garcia de Rios was deported to Mexico after showing up for a routine check-in with immigration officials. She was arrested years ago for using another person's social security number to get a job. Well, the Obama administration granted her leniency, but according to President Trump's new executive order, illegal immigrants who have committed any criminal offense are subject to removal from the country.
Drilling underway on the Dakota Access Pipeline. The company building it says it could be completed as early as May. Earlier this week, the Army gave the okay to Congress to allow the oil pipeline to cross under the Missouri River Reservoir in North Dakota. But the Standing Rock Sioux Tribe filed a court challenge today seeking a temporary halt on drilling over concerns a leak could pollute their drinking water. The court has set oral arguments for Monday.
Well, President Trump took to Twitter to lash out at Senator John McCain because he couldn't call last month's military raid in Yemen a success because of a Navy SEAL that died. Several civilians were also killed. President Trump tweeted then Senator McCain should not be talking about success or failure of a mission to the media, only emboldens the enemy. He's been losing so long he doesn't know how to win anymore. Just look at our mess, look at the mess our country is in, bogged down in conflict all over the place. Our hero, Ryan, died on a winning mission, according to General Mattis. Not a failure. Time for the U.S. to get smart and start winning again. The Arizona senator didn't respond directly to the president.
His daughter did, though.
Donald Trump quotes.
Yeah. All right, Kellyanne Conway under attack tonight after she encouraged people to buy Ivanka Trump's clothing while talking on Fox and Friends this morning.
Her remarks are coming just one day after President Trump tweeted that Nordstrom has treated his daughter unfairly by dropping her clothing line. Sharon Crowley is here now to explain why Conway may have violated ethics codes.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about tonight. Both a House Democrat and a House Republican want to find out if Conway broke the ethics rules after she deliberately urged people to buy Ivanka's merchandise. Conway said she spent several hours with the president this afternoon. She would not comment specifically on the matter, though.
Go buy Ivanka's stuff is what I would tell. I'm gonna get. I hate shopping. I'm gonna go get some on myself today.
With that endorsement of Ivanka Trump's clothing line, Kellyanne Conway, counselor to President Donald Trump, may have violated the federal ethics code. A Democrat and a Republican from the House Oversight Committee are asking the Office of Government Ethics to recommend disciplinary action against Conway for her remarks pushing Ivanka's merchandise. Today, a White House spokesman said Conway had been counseled.
Here we go. Kellyanne has been counseled. And that's all we're going to go with. She's been counseled on that subject, and that's it.
Code of conduct for federal employees prohibits a federal employee from using the official position for personal gain, and that's personal gain of themselves or of anybody else.
Richard Painter is a former chief White House ethics lawyer for President George W. Bush. He also represents a government watchdog group suing President Trump on another ethics matter.
The president yesterday used his official capacity, his official Twitter account, to attack Nordstrom for not carrying his daughter's clothing brand, and that is intimidation that is unacceptable.
President Trump tweeted yesterday that Nordstrom treated his daughter, quote, so unfairly. The clothing store chain announced it was dropping Ivanka's line because of declining sales.
Sean Spicer spoke about it at the press briefing today and said that you had been counseled on the matter and that he had nothing more to say. How were you counseled?
I'm not going to comment on that, Martha. I actually have nothing more to say about it.
Well, Conway also said she's aware of the letter that was sent about her to the Office of Government Ethics. She would only say that she and others are reviewing the letter internally. So the drama continues in Washington.
Indeed, all right. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
The Dow closing at another record high, 20,172. That was up 118 points today. President Trump mentioning putting tax cuts on the fast track in the next few weeks, and that's all the markets needed to hear. The S&P and NASDAQ also closed at record highs.
Well, the future of Obamacare may be up in the air, but that did not stop a big enrollment. More than 12 million people signed up for coverage under the Affordable Care Act. That's down 4%, though, from last year. But a clear majority of them live in states that President Trump won in November. The president says that he wants Republicans in Congress to pass a replacement for Obamacare at the same time as its repeal.
All right, the Connecticut father whose 3 young daughters were killed in a Christmas Day fire has died. Matthew Badger passed away yesterday at the age of 51. That announcement made by the Lily Sarah Grace Fund. That's the charity foundation launched by Badger to honor his daughters. All 3, along with their maternal grandparents, perished when a fire raced through their Stamford home back in 2011 on Christmas Day. As we mentioned, Badger's ex-wife, Madonna, and her boyfriend were the only survivors.
Well, former Nick Charles Oakley is speaking out about getting arrested at the Garden last night.
All right, he sat down with our own Duke Castiglione to tell his side of the story.
This is the scene. Charles Oakley obviously involved with security.
Charles, from your standpoint, tell us what happened last night.
What happened? I was in the garden 4 minutes. Granny watched the game. The game going to start. And something happened. I'm seeing these guys just keep looking at me behind the Knicks bench, and they see me walk on the floor. Then they walk back off the floor. 2 minutes later, they came and told me I had to leave the gym. They got ordered that I had to leave.
Did you say anything to James Dolan? He was in front of you.
4 rows from Dolan. No, I didn't. I didn't say nothing to him.
Why did they approach you then?
Why?
Yeah.
I don't know.
The Knicks did issue a statement last night, in part reading, Charles Oakley came to the game and behaved in a highly inappropriate manner. It went on to say, he was a great Knick, and we hope he gets some help soon. The Knicks said your behavior was inappropriate, and they say they hope you get the help you need. What do they mean by that?
That's embarrassing. excuse. I bought my own ticket, sat in my own seat.
You said something before we started the interview that they're trying to portray you as maybe having been drinking. Was that the case?
No, I told them I had a couple of drinks, but I ain't had no drinks in the garden.
Yeah.
I mean, it's what it is.
Is there any part of you that saw the video and that you regret anything that happened?
I'm not really looking at the video. He goes, I know what I did.
Yeah.
I came in. I was only there 4 minutes.
Would you welcome a sit down with James Dolan and try to bury the hatchet?
I at least had 10 people try to set up a meeting, and no one said, well, he don't want to meet with me.
Is there anything you want to say to the fans right now, Knicks fans?
I mean, my heart, you know, I'm a Knick. I love the fans. They cheer for me. They pay their money. They can boo you if they want to. You got to be able to accept it. It's life. Yeah, everything ain't a straight line.
Now, I did talk to a high-ranking Garden executive this evening. I was told that they have video of Oakley arriving at the arena at 8:02 p.m. And according to this executive, he entered the building and immediately started bullying his way through the arena. He got to his seat 8:11 p.m., started cursing with very vulgar language at several security guards. 4 minutes later, they asked him to stop. He escalated it. That is what I'm told by this Garden executive. He got louder than the fight that took place we saw on video. So there are two sides to the story, but I will tell you the relationship between Charles Oakley and the Knicks and Knicks owner James Dolan has been bad for quite some time. Dari, Steve, back to you.
It's going to get better anytime soon either. All right, thanks, Steve.
Nope. Well, perfect day to hit the slope.
All right, how city kids who wouldn't normally get to the mountains had a chance to learn how to ski.
No shovel, no snowblower, no problem. Lots of money required, though. The high-tech driveway that clears the snow
Pays off on days
itself.
like today, though, right? And what makes a good dancer, how scientists have nailed down the moves that separate the good from the bad.
Closed captioning brought to you by the Lexus RX, RX Hybrid, and RXF Sport.
Need more 4G LTE data? Now with Boost Mobile, add a line for $25 and get 10 gigs of high-speed data per line. With Metro PCS, when you add a line, you pay $30 and only get 8 gigs of high-speed data.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Metro PCS. Switch to Boost and get more high-speed data and save $5 a month on our crazy fast nationwide network. Plus, when you switch today, you can get up to 5 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Visit a Boost Mobile store today.
We belong to the light, we belong to the thunder. We belong to the sound of the words we've both fallen under.
When you find something worth waiting for, we'll help you invest to protect it for the future. Financial guidance while you're mastering life. From Chase, so you can.
New Jerseyans with drug addiction deserve a second chance. New Jersey is making it easier to find treatment. Introducing 1-844-REACH-NJ and reachnj.gov. One number, one website, a clear path to help. Reach out and help the many lives affected by this awful disease. Don't suffer. Don't wait. Help is within reach.
Anything goes on Good Day.
The Metropolitan Museum of Art, they had a special morning workout that Rosanna and I got to do. Rosanna's still plugging away on her cell phone.
You look like you're, I don't know what, a homicide victim on the floor.
And tomorrow on Good Day, wake up for the latest on the commuting conditions, closures, and delays. Tomorrow morning on Good Day.
Days like today are just perfect for skiing.
Oh boy. Many kids in the city never get an opportunity though to hit the slopes, but a winter sports center in New Jersey is working to change all of that. Here's Simone Boyce.
We're at the National Winter Activity Center in Vernon Township, New Jersey, where school children from Newark are learning how to ski for the very first time. They're from the Brick Charter School in Newark, and for many of them, they wouldn't have access to something like this if it weren't for this facility.
The idea behind this is not only to introduce kids to winter activities and winter sports, get them a little bit more active in the wintertime, healthier,
Sean Mallier founded the National Winter Activity Center, a nonprofit serving 6,000 youth annually from schools in the tri-state area.
Most of our kids don't see mountains with snow, so it's not something that they choose to do. But there's also the other barriers of geographic. How do I get there? And then how much does it cost? So what we try to do is reduce all those barriers to access by providing this place, working with other funders to help them get here. We're more than just a program. I believe we're a movement.
The kids receive everything they need for an action-packed day, starting with a healthy meal, then the proper gear and training to hit the slopes.
So is skiing hard?
No, not really.
I think
if you really get to know it, if you really get to know how to ski, it's good.
Before coming here, 14-year-old Tyrese Griffin had only seen this sport on TV.
I guess it wasn't like an opportunity or a choice that was given to me.
Take your skis off there. Stop right there.
And Sean's story began much like Tyrese's.
So was there any talk of winter sports, of skiing, snowboarding where you grew up?
Never. I grew up in the projects in Soundview, so I never had those experiences until I got out and on the West Coast. I got the opportunity to explore them, so that's why this is so to see their excitement, to know that somewhere along the line things are going to be different for them.
Mallier's making winter sports more inclusive, one child at a time.
I think it's great because usually you don't see people of color doing stuff like this. You usually see people without color doing this, and knowing that black people, black women, black men, they're doing this is amazing, and they're showing that they could just be as great as other people.
Simone Boyce, Fox 5 News.
What is not to love about that? All right, snow days, they're not just for kids.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They are also for adults. Definitely for adults.
Yeah, a lot of people working home.
I know. A lot of people work from home. And then if
you don't have to call
with
sick.
The kids.
You're right, it's easier.
Right. And then if you got a lot of money, you're going to love this one. Clearing the driveway via computer. No shoveling, no backaches.
Sign me up.
No cold fingers. We'll be right back.
It's after 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are? Brought to you by Ridgewood Savings Bank.
Maestros lead with confidence, exactness, inspiration. At GMC, we're in tune with that degree of precision. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the GMC Acadia. The next generation SUV has arrived. Current lessees switch to GMC and get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 Acadia SLE1 for around $259 per month. GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, Mr. Dunphy. Hey, now that you guys are broken up, you can call me whatever you want. Phil, Vitamin P.
Modern Family. Tomorrow night starting at 7 on Fox 5.
They say the desert is wild. And they're absolutely right. They say that it's hot. When really, it's scorching. And while some may say the desert is desolate, we prefer secluded. What is the desert? It's absolutely what you need right now. Absolutely Scottsdale.
Discover the new standard in safety at Toyota's Safety First sales event. Toyota has more 2017 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. Check out Toyota's Safety First sales event and our special offers today. Lease a new 2017 Camry for just $169 a month, or get 0% APR for 72 months on Camry. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
There are words to describe every step we take. Words for the joy and the sorrow. But through all of life's journey, there is no language adequate to describe the ultimate heights you can attain. Your full potential.
prime suspect in a homicide is Rosie's ex-girlfriend.
I know I've done some awful things in my life, but what I'm not is a killer.
Rosewood, Friday at 8 on Fox 5.
Oh, a snow day for everyone. It wasn't just the kids who hit the parks for some sledding and snowball fights. Schools were closed, so the kids had a free day.
That's right, and they had a lot of grown-up company as well. Matt King shows us why many parents got to join in on the fun.
An airy bliss descended over our city's youth Thursday, with no alarm clocks to heed, homework to complete, or classes to attend.
No, there wasn't school.
So 8th graders Elizabeth, Jordan, and Mel, along with seemingly every other child in Manhattan, slept in.
I watched TV.
And then schlepped their sleds to Central Park. Yet among the throngs of school-free sledders, even a not-so-discerning eye could detect some full-grown members of the city workforce, like young Brody's dad, David here.
I called it quits at 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock!
Maybe I worked 3 hours and skied 4 hours.
Laura, here sliding uphill, awoke to fresh snow, sent a few emails.
And then I came out and skied 6 miles.
Paul demonstrated for us a more traditional interpretation of the Nordic discipline after opting to work from home.
I was going to cross-country ski to my office midtown, but it was too difficult skiing down 5th Avenue.
Others on this hill, whose identities we promised to protect, admitted to skipping work altogether, but declined to appear on camera.
Watch out! Sorry! Ow!
Leaving us extra thankful for the righteousness of youth. Did your parents have to go to work?
No, they didn't.
Did your parents go to work?
No, they stayed home.
Did your parents go to work?
No, they stayed home.
Of this storm, our elected leaders warned us early, and apparently we listened and adjusted our definition of an efficient Thursday accordingly.
You mean how many times did we come down?
We have no productivity numbers for the tri-state area Thursday, but judging by the relatively silent streets and very raucous sledding hills, very few of us spent much time facilitating any kind of commerce.
It's pretty quiet out there today, definitely.
Whether seeing our first snow or blinded by our something hundredth, many New Yorkers seem to prioritize snowballs over phone calls.
We're just making our own snow day.
Which wasn't to say the afternoon didn't slog or the commute wasn't slippery. And Friday, we returned to the monotony of our regularly scheduled post-blizzard February existence. In Central Park, I'm Matt King, Fox 5 News.
Gorgeous.
And after all that, the sun came out. Isn't that crazy, right?
Yeah.
Postal workers aren't the only ones committed to working through nasty weather conditions. Today's snow could not stop delivery workers from making their rounds across the city. It was brutal out there. Look at that video. In fact, the winter storm was kind of ideal. Delivery workers were racking up big bucks from New Yorkers who chose to ride out the storm at home.
What are you going to deliver, man?
Some dry cleaning.
Some dry cleaning?
Yeah.
Even on a snowy day like this?
Yeah, man, gotta work hard. It's the only way to it.
We got cookies, we got bread, we got salad, sandwiches.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Doesn't stop for the snow?
Nah.
All right.
Biking around was brutal, right? Since those dedicated delivery workers hit the streets, rain or shine, do tip them well. You should do that always, but especially on days like today.
Oh, absolutely. All right, well, if you're strong and you need a job, excuse me, the city is looking for temporary workers to help remove the snow and ice in all 5 boroughs. The sanitation department calls in these emergency workers right after big snowstorms like today's to clean up areas like bus stops and crosswalks and also fire hydrants. You have to be 18 years old and you gotta be able to perform heavy physical labor outside. To register, stop by Flatbush Yard, Bronx Yard, Q Loop Yard, or Harper Street Yard Monday through Friday between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. Bring 2 small photos, 2 forms of ID, and also your Social Security card. Pay starts at $15 an hour. Starts at $15 an hour.
All right, how long did it take you to dig out your driveway tonight?
Well, now imagine standing inside your home and just watching all that snow melt away while you're nice and warm. Dan Bowens went to Paramus to show us how it's done.
You can hear other people and their snow blowers.
Yes.
And you probably hear that, and what do you think?
I get a smile on my face. I say, thank God, finally I don't have to do it.
With a dry driveway, no snow, no ice, there are plenty of reasons Raj Parikh is smiling. There are parts of the driveway that are already, I mean, you look right here, there's nothing.
Yeah, it's
no precipitation,
like
anything.
It never came, it never happened.
Because while most of us are out doing this, shoveling, plowing, back-breaking, Raj can do this.
This is the main pump which is circulating the water under the driveway.
Tracking his one-of-a-kind geothermal driveway heating system inside behind the computer.
There's no fear of icing or anything like that because we'll continue the system until everything dries off. So tomorrow morning when many of the driveway will be icy. I don't have to worry about that.
Last year, we showed you the first test for this system when it quickly melted away the January blizzard. The house has no furnace or air conditioning. Instead, it's all green energy, solar panels, warm rainwater to more than 100 degrees. It's stored in giant tanks below the ground until it's needed.
We bring that hot water underneath like a radiant heating in the house, and we warm up the floors, and instead of feeling good on our feet, it starts evaporating or melting and evaporating.
Since then, Raj, a research engineer, has perfected the system to be even more efficient. It clicks on right away now when it detects moisture and cold air and drains the water away a bit faster. It's just one piece of this eco-friendly residence in Paramus, New Jersey. The home over the last several years completely retrofitted to use solar energy and special insulation and can be completely off the grid. I hear it again. Right around the corner, another snowplow.
Right, exactly. And it's probably going to go on till the evening. Somebody will always be doing more, or a second time or third time.
And you'll be inside doing what?
I'm designing aquaponic bio wall.
So you'll be inside designing your next project.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
He wants to patent the technology, make it more available for private homes, certainly the envy of any suburban homeowner. From Paramus, New Jersey, Dan Bowens, Fox 5 News.
Not too bad.
Yeah, not too shabby. What reports are the Clooneys are expecting?
That's right, what we're learning about their big baby news.
And dancing down to science, how to tell if you're really good.
When you were 8, you wanted to fly. When you were 13, to be a rock star. At 20, an artist. All these years later, you realize you had it right the first time. The 2017 Q50 from Infiniti. Lease the all-wheel drive Infiniti Q50 2-liter turbo for $339 a month. Visit your tri-state Infiniti retailer.
For the next 2 weeks, when you sign up for Optimum's Triple Play, you'll get a $200 gift card. So call today for our new Triple Play offer. You'll get reliable, blazing fast 200 meg internet, over 260 channels, and phone for $89.99 a month. 200 megs lets the whole family game, stream, and chat on multiple devices all at the same time. And speaking of fast, the faster you call, the faster you'll get that $200 gift card. But hurry, this offer expires February 12th. Optimum. Let's connect more.
Macy's One-Day Sale Saturday with a Preview Day Friday. Get final closeouts from Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, and more. With queen mattresses starting at $197. Get 24 months financing on a mattress purchase of $999 or more in your Macy's card.
Witness the greatest show on earth one last time. Ringling Brothers says it's final farewell.
Be a part of the last curtain call for Out of This World. Opens in the New York, New Jersey area February 23rd.
New standard in safety at Toyota's Safety First sales event. The 2017 Toyota Highlander comes standard with a pre-collision system and lane departure alert at no extra cost. It's no wonder why Highlander received the NHTSA 5-star overall safety rating. Check out Toyota's Safety First sales event and our special offers today. Lease a new 2017 Highlander for just $269 a month. Plus, every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, first it was Beyonce and Jay-Z. Now it's George and Amal Clooney having twins. The news actually came today from Julie Chen of The Talk. She says that they're having a boy and a girl this June. The Clooneys got married in 2014. They haven't shared the big news publicly, though, with anybody.
All right, American Idol might be coming back, but apparently not here on Fox. NBC reportedly in talks with the show's production company, Fremantle Media, to take on the singing competition. Sources tell Variety the network is trying to figure out how to incorporate Idol into its current programming. Of course, it already airs The Voice.
Well, the secret to being a good dancer.
That's right. Now, scientists figured out what moves make you look good instead of goofy.
Scientists, yeah, take a note from them. And Nick will be back with the details on the Big Chill.
Fox 5 News brought to you by Optimum. Let's connect more.
Need more 4G LTE data? Now with Boost Mobile, add a line for $25 and get 10 gigs of high-speed data per line. With Metro PCS, when you add a line, you pay $30 and only get 8 gigs of high-speed data.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Metro PCS. Switch to Boost and get more high-speed data and save $5 a month on our crazy fast nationwide network. Plus, when you switch today, you can get up to 5 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Visit a Boost Mobile store today.
I just picked up the cake for the baby shower.
Yay! You know she's having a boy, right?
Oh, boy.
Buick now has an SUV for that. Introducing the new Buick Encore.
I knew I could trust you guys with the cake.
Oh, no problem. That was close.
One of 3 luxury SUVs from the new Buick.
Current lessees, switch to Buick and get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 Encore for around $169 per month, and we're covering the first month's payment.
To see a kid going through the struggles of dealing with cancer, it's just not fair. Tackle Kids Cancer to me is raising awareness, raising funds for all the research possible to get kids back home to their families, living a normal life. I just think of my childhood. It's all laughs, it's all happy. The kids, they shouldn't be going through treatments. Hopefully, when they think of their childhood, they're not to think of cancer. They're not to think of the smiles. They'll think of the great times, the great moments in their lives. We need you to give.
Discover the new standard in safety at Toyota's Safety First sales event. Toyota has more 2017 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. Check out Toyota's Safety First sales event and our special offers today. Lease a new 2017 Camry for just $169 a month, or get 0% APR for 72 months on Camry. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
My Summit table and 6 chairs, only $5.99. And the competition, same look, but a whopping $15.14. Like theirs, My Summit has a wire brush finish, but I go the extra mile. Table and 6 chairs, or table, 4 chairs and a bench with storage and a removable leaf, only $5.99. In regular or pub height. Why would anyone pay over $900 more? Just imagine what else you could buy for that kind of money. Only at My Bob's Discount Furniture.
The president is talking about tax cuts, and the markets are taking off. The Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all hitting record highs on Thursday. Stocks rallying as President Trump saying a major announcement on tax reform is coming in the next few weeks. Well, point, click, you're hired. Amazon creating 2,000 new full-time jobs at fulfillment centers in California. Those are the places where Amazon workers pack and ship orders all over the country. And it looks like more Americans are chasing the American dream. According to a new report, around 1 in 4 adults are considering buying a home this year. This might explain why mortgage rates are still historically low. A 30-year fixed-rate mortgage falling a bit this week, now at 4.17%. And Cupid, draw back your bow in the office. Turns out 4 in 10 workers have dated a coworker in the past year. And get this, around a third of those romances have led to marriage. Congratulations. That's business. I'm David Asman.
All right, you think you're a good dancer, there may be scientific proof to back you up.
Baruch Shemtov with new research that breaks down the best moves.
What do you think constitutes good dancing?
You gotta have good. Oh, I have to dance.
Yeah. Keep going. Keep going.
Boom, ba ba boom, ba ba boom, ba boom, ba ba boom, ba ba boom, boom.
Yeah, keep going. Keep going.
We'll just go for it.
All right, let me see. Let me see. Go. Yes, I'm gonna join in there with you. Yeah. Woo! Yes. What do you think? What do you think? Well, a new scientific study released by the University of Northumbria found that according to men polled after viewing an avatar like this, these were the best dance moves for women, showcasing significant hip movement and legs that moved out of sync. And a study by the same university several years ago found that women preferred that men employ moves like these, with unpredictable upper body movement and a pivoting of the right knee. All right, let's give this a shot. Let's see your best shot.
The best shot like this?
Yes. Yes. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Yes. Come on. Yes. Yes. Woo. 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 Do you think his moves are better?
Oh, gosh, no.
No? At least she's honest. She's very honest. And remember that sometimes you just have to dance like no one's watching, even when everyone is. In Times Square, I'm Baruch Semtov, Fox 5 News. Woo!
Scientific. I don't know if Baruch passes the scientific test for being a good dancer.
We'll let it go this time.
All right, lots of weather.
I don't know
the
if
weather
anybody
was
really passes
maybe.
that
Yeah,
test.
most people might be right.
Truthfully, that's a
I
great
think it would be a
point.
compliment not to pass that test.
It's cold and windy and just.
Oh yeah,
it's
big change.
Tough
right?
out there right now.
It is tough, and that's going to be the problem overnight. It's still going to be a bit windy. It's going to be very cold and icy because again, whatever.
Normally, when we get snow, it just goes away in like 5 minutes. Not this time.
Yeah, not this time. You know, it's a big freeze, and everything really has already frozen over. You know, whatever's melted is just, you know, it's rock solid frozen now because we're down in the teens to about 20 degrees across the area. We don't come above freezing tomorrow, but the sun does return tomorrow, so that may help a little bit in the process. And then it does get into the 40s this weekend. 44 and 20, that was today. That 44 right after midnight. You know, most of the day the temperature was diving down into the 20s. 41-28's average. Again, 9.4 inches of snow in Central Park. Sunrise 6:56, down 5:24. It's mainly clear now. 20 degrees though with the northwest wind, still brisk, and the pressure's 29.99. Continues to rise. It's just kind of leveled off for the minute though, but it'll keep going as that storm moves away. All right, good sign. Fox 5 Sky Guardian. Snow is gone. It's out of here. So again, you can get that dig out process going into tomorrow if you haven't started already today. It's going to be a lot harder tomorrow because everything will be frozen solid. We're talking again those 40s that were earlier on this morning and some 30s to the north and west. But let's look at reality right now. Reality is 9 in Monticello, 17 Sussex, 16 Poughkeepsie, 20 in the city. Teens, basically upper teens from the Jersey Shore out to Long Island. And look at our change from last night. We're down 25 plus degrees in a lot of the area as well. And the northwest wind will continue, although it's not as bad as before. But we're still 15 to 25 sustained, and gusts are still hitting 30. And that's making those wind chill values down into the single numbers, feeling like 4 at Bridgeport and down by Belmar, 2 at Islip, and 5 below is what it feels like up there in Monticello. All right, temperatures in the northeast pretty cold. Had snow in a lot of spots. Of course, heavy snow even hit the Boston area. They had blizzard conditions there today. 13 there right now, 11 Albany, 18 Buffalo, 28 down into Washington, D.C. Watch the storm departing quickly now up through Maine and actually up into the Canadian Maritimes. So it is pulling away, and the drier air, as you see, is moving on down. So that's some good news there. And we'll be in the dry air tomorrow, but I want you to see this little disturbance that's moving across the northern plain states. That's going to eventually be the leading edge of some milder air trying to get in here. So the result will be another shot, a little light snow late tomorrow night, early Saturday morning. In the meantime, highs tomorrow struggle to get to 30. But look at the quick warm up in Chicago. They're only in the 20s today. They're in the 40s tomorrow. That's going to happen here this weekend. 72 Dallas and 80s, and to get to the desert Southwest, 40s in the Pacific Northwest. All right, sunshine, couple of clouds. I think 16 out the door in the city. Single digits well north and west. 25 at noon, 30 in the afternoon. Still a bit breezy. Clouds will increase later on in the day. And you see here on the Futurecast, watch that disturbance diving southward. So sun gives way to clouds tomorrow afternoon. Late tomorrow night, early Saturday morning, maybe a little bit of light snow, coating to an inch. And then that goes away, but another storm is going to ripple up along that front. And that's going to bring rain for Sunday. It could be a close call, particularly north of the city, north and east of the city, later Sunday night, early Monday, as it ends as potentially a little snow. Few clouds tonight, still windy, very cold, 16 in the city, 7 in the suburbs. Back again near 30 tomorrow with sun and some clouds. And then that little light snow very late tomorrow night, early Saturday, then back to 45. Clouds give in to some sun on Saturday. Rain for Sunday, 43. And again, got to watch this for Sunday night into Monday. We'll see what the track ultimately ends up being, whether cold air gets pulled back down again for a little bit. It does clear out on Monday. It's a very windy day, 46, 42 Tuesday, another shot of a little rain or snow Wednesday. Cold on Thursday.
Messy February.
Yep.
On brand.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow, that's a blast from the past.
It is.
Snow day for dogs as well.
That's right. No dog had more fun than this guy. We will share some of my videos when I took Ryder to the park today, as you can see. He had a blast.
Closed captioning brought to you by the Lexus RX, RX Hybrid, and RXF Sport.
Fios is not cable. We're wired differently, which means we can deliver equal uploads and downloads. Welcome to 8.5 Maple Street. It's half a house. And even though it only has half a kitchen, half the closet space, and a half bath. It's a full house to the Wilsons. Because they have Fios, their half house has full internet with uploads as fast as downloads. Don't pay for uploads that aren't up to speed. Get 150 meg internet, TV, and phone for only $79.99 per month online for 1 year. Only from Fios.
Hello. It's our new intern Bart's first week here at TD Bank. He's a robot from one of those other banks. We're training him to bank human.
I am Banking Assistance and Registration Technology, but you can call me Banking Assistance and Registration Technology.
Hi, Amy.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you.
That is not protocol, Manager Jenna.
That's okay, Bart. It is here.
At TD Bank, we do things differently, like having the longest hours of any bank. Don't just bank, bank human.
Maestros lead with confidence, exactness, inspiration. At GMC, we're in tune with that degree of precision. Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the GMC Acadia. The next generation SUV has arrived. Current lessees switch to GMC and get this low-mileage lease on this 2017 Acadia SLE1 for around $259 per month. GMC, we are professional grade.
Recently, something extraordinary.
Fox 5 News brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan, furnishing your style.
At the age of 8, her father came to New York.
Some say political polling itself is at a crossroads.
It is a place where auto enthusiasts come to play.
The family believes what happened was a miracle.
Talking about the state of hip-hop.
Traffic Tracker brought to you by Toyota.
I'm Inez Rosales with the Toyota Traffic Tracker. Route 4 westbound by Forest Avenue in Paramus. There's a new traffic pattern, so there's a shift in the lanes. This will be going on between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. for construction all the way until March 15th. Tune in to Good Day New York starting at 4:30 in the morning, and I'll keep you updated on your commute.
They say the desert is wild, and they're absolutely right. They say that it's hot, when really, it's scorching. And while some may say the desert is desolate, we prefer secluded. What is the desert? It's absolutely what you need right now. Absolutely Scottsdale.
Discover the new standard in safety at Toyota's Safety First sales event. Toyota has more 2017 IIHS Top Safety Pick Plus awards than any other brand. Check out Toyota's Safety First sales event and our special offers today. Lease a new 2017 Camry for just $169 a month, or get 0% APR for 72 months on Camry. Find yours at buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Tomorrow's the day we'll play something besides video games.
Every day is a gift, especially for people with heart failure. But today, there's Entresto, a breakthrough medicine that can help make more tomorrows possible.
Tomorrow, I want to see Teddy make his first hook.
In the largest heart failure study ever, Entresto was proven to help more people stay alive and out of the hospital than a leading heart failure medicine. Women who are pregnant must not take Entresto. It can cause harm or death to an unborn baby. Don't take Entresto with an ACE inhibitor or aliskiren. If you've had angioedema while taking an ACE or ARB medicine, don't take Entresto. The most serious side effects are angioedema, low blood pressure, kidney problems, or high potassium in your blood.
Tomorrow, I'm going to step out with my favorite girl.
Ask your doctor about Entresto and help make the gift of tomorrow possible.
Psst. Yoplait Custer's back. The family favorite, Yoplait.
Protein. Protein, proteiny, protein.
Proteiny, protein.
Protein, proteiny, protein.
At least 14 grams of protein, 100 calories. New Greek 100 protein from Yoplait.
We put Amy on a dating app and we're seeing what's out there.
Okay, yes or no on white guy with dreadlocks?
Next Big Bang. Coming up next on Fox 5.
On the next Street Soldiers.
It was really hard for me to get a date.
Love and relationships. Is commitment a new trend?
I definitely believe that is true.
Friday at 10:30 on Fox 5.
People had fun today with the snow day, but none more so than my dog Ryder. This was his first major snow. We've had a little bit, so I took him to the park. As you can see, he was as wound as a dog can get. If you aren't familiar with my dog Ryder, he's a 10, 11-month-old mini golden doodle. They just jumped into my iPhone. He was on fire the whole time we were at the park. Look at this, I couldn't keep up with him, but I can't let him off the leash either because he's too insane. There's the ultimate sign, jumping up and down. Thrilled. That was him watching kids go sledding. Like a nut. Doesn't get more fun than that. Basically, I ran this whole thing because me and Nick are trying to wear down his wife to let Nick get a dog. So this is the latest in our psychological warfare against Nick's wife, to break down and let him get the dog.
Are you watching, honey? Are you watching? You see how adorable he is?
You gotta love this dog.
You and the dog
let him do
in
it.
the backyard. That's what'll happen. I'll sleep on the couch and the dog will be outside.
Take over.
Tomorrow's Friday.
Fox 5 News isn't over. If you want to connect to great stories and people, then engage Fox 5's Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube pages. And go to fox5ny.com for news and stories you care about. Brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan Furniture, furnishing your style. Fox 5 News, brought to you by Raymore and Flanagan, furnishing your style.
Swing. Introducing the most efficient car in its class, the 2017 Prius Prime. Toyota, let's go places.
Need more 4G LTE data? Now with Boost Mobile, add a line for $25 and get 10 gigs of high-speed data per line. With Metro PCS, when you add a line, you pay $30 and only get 8 gigs of high-speed data.
Oh, man.
Sorry, Metro PCS. Switch to Boost and get more high-speed data and save $5 a month on our crazy fast nationwide network. Plus, when you switch today, you can get up to 5 free Samsung Galaxy phones. Visit a Boost Mobile store today.
This is our point of view. If there's a test, ace it. This is Acura, all-wheel drive. And this is how we make it.
Visit your local Acura dealer for attractive offers on the RDX.
It'll take brains. It'll take courage. It'll take heart to prove I'm not wicked.
A 1-4 each side in a fight, two roads collide.